Hey, it's me. It's been a while. Not only is this YouTube video gonna be, well, a YouTube video, but it's also going to be my end of year school project for one of my classes. So, in the internet and, teacher, enjoy. Just a bit of a disclaimer, I do not mention Star Wars 7 like whatsoever, mostly because it's my understanding that it was a universally liked movie, so I don't feel the need to talk about it. But let's get on with the video. I wanted to know why people dislike the latest Star Wars trilogy, so I went around looking for articles and blog posts, one of which literally just said that Episode 9 ignored everything that happened in Star Wars 8. But, I'm kind of fine with that since I didn't really like the majority of Star Wars 8. However, there were parts that I did like, and I'll get into that more later. From my perspective, Star Wars 8 was attempting to show that no one had hope, specifically in the Resistance. Like, no one believed in the Resistance to, help them out on the random desolate planet at the end of the movie. And that was a big plot point in the whole movie. Like, just, there was no hope. But, they could have done that in the last 20 minutes of Episode 7 or the first 20 minutes of Episode 9. It seemed pointless to be a feature-length film, and because of that, it seemed pointless, slow, and drawn out. In one Forbes article, they complained that Finn never said what he was going to tell Rey when he's falling into rip-off quicksand. And now, I was under the impression that Finn, spoilers, was gonna tell her that she's a Palpatine, and that he knew because Leia had told him. And when Rey was going off about how she'll kill Palpatine after she lasered some spaceships, and Finn was sounding worried, saying like it didn't sound like her, I thought that Finn knew she was a Palpatine, and didn't want her to turn to the dark side. And while there's no direct evidence of this in the movies, I thought it'd be worth a mention. But now on to my main points. From the same article, they go on about how the Star Destroyer fleet is just a Death Star in disguise, and I mean, it's not really disguised. It's how technology evolves to become smaller and more efficient, and if you completely ignore the enormous phone screens, you can see the same trend with current technology, like thinner laptops, smaller phones, etc. In a different article by The Wrap, they continue saying that Lando couldn't have been able to gather such a massive army like he did, and although I didn't like Star Wars 8 as much as the directors would have liked me to, it fits satisfyingly with the theme of the last movie, where, as I stated, the theme of that movie was that there was no hope, no one would come. However, with this complete turnaround, and the galaxy was at stake, the audience was given the same feeling of hopelessness from the last movie, which ended in the same way most thought this movie would end. But it didn't. And yes, it may have been unrealistic that Lando could have rallied that many people in such a short amount of time, but sometimes satisfying storytelling trumps realistic storytelling. Did anyone ever really watch Star Wars movies for the realism? Ben and Rey's kiss. Okay, I hated this part of the movie too. The characters felt more like siblings than lovers, so it just felt like an awkward forced scene. The Force can heal people now, so why did characters like Anakin have to die? I don't know why people got so upset with this part of the movie. It's literally explained in the movie why specifically only Ben and Rey can heal people with their psychic brain energy. They are dyads in the Force, and you might think that doesn't make any sense. Why does them being dyads in the Force give them any special abilities? It's unrealistic. It doesn't make sense. Again, I don't understand this. You didn't complain when people had psychic brain powers in the first place because you were suspending your disbelief for the lore of the movie franchise. Why is that any different now? This part just felt like people complaining for the point of complaining. Another part of this Wrap article was that they had the point that the Resistance did not actually win the war, and they go on to say they had just stopped a fleet of random Star Destroyers and did not actually liberate the galaxy. But the thing is, these weren't just random Star Destroyers, these were the galaxy's only fleet of planet-destroying capable Star Destroyers, and they were Palpatine's only leverage when they made the agreement with Kylo Ren. For an extreme nerd like me, Star Wars 9 filled a lot of holes that I wanted to be filled. In Star Wars 8, in the scene where Ben and Rey were thinking of running away, they were teasing the idea of them both leaving the light and the dark side. My heart was racing. I was thinking, were they gonna bring the Jedi, not to be confused with the Jedi had orange lightsabers, were neither light side nor dark side, but a bit of both, into the movies? Especially since earlier in that movie, when Rey was so easily tempted by the dark side cave, and Luke had noticed that she was incredibly sensitive to both sides of the Force. But no, no, Ren just invites her to rule the galaxy and blah blah blah. We've heard all this before. But at the end of Star Wars 9, Rey buries both Luke and Leia's lightsaber and pulls out her shiny new one and turns it on. What color is it? Orange. I was so incredibly happy during this scene. I liked that Snoke and Rey's father were just Palpatine clones. I think it was in Legends that we knew that Palpatine always had a plan for leaving his crippled body for a better one, and it was originally going to be Anakin, but he became all disabled and things, so instead he went into cloning. But unlike cloning a normal 9-to-5 office worker, cloning a Force user is hard, so he went through several iterations, and his failures were Snoke and his pseudo-son, and that crippled version of him with skinless fingers in the movie. I liked that the dyads in the Force had special powers. There have already been instances where people had unique traits to them. The Palpatines had Force lightning, Skywalkers had Force choking, and yes, those may be vaguer powers compared to the Force healing, but in the movies, unique powers are not unheard of. But also, in the game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, the main character Cal has a unique meditation ability. And while yes, it is a video game mechanic, it's still an example of a unique ability within the Star Wars lore. And I know, recent Star Wars trilogy has been extremely controversial, but this is why, especially in Star Wars 9, I don't think it was bad. In fact, I quite liked it, and it was a very satisfying end to what the current Star Wars trilogy had. And I just didn't understand why people disliked it, so I wanted to put my opinion out there. If you agree with me, make sure to like. If you disagree with me, make sure to dislike and yell at me in the comments section. And have a good day. Make sure to subscribe. I am pushing for 7 subscribers. And make sure to follow me on Twitch because I stream a lot more than I do upload. Look at my amazing upload schedule. I've uploaded 40 times in the past 3 years, so that's awesome. That's about 9 videos a year, which is really cool. I'm really good at, existing. But yeah, thanks for watching the video, and sayonara.